Some 65 million years ago, a giant asteroid collided with Earth and, some claim, wiped out the dinosaurs. Now, after weeks of drilling deep at the impact site, scientists have finally reached rocks from the catastrophic event that wiped out 75% of life on Earth. They say the analysis of them, about to begin in a German lab, could finally explain what caused one of the most catastrophic mass extinctions in the planet's history. Hidden in the crater was a peak ring, a ring of mountains left behind that shows the post-impact world and fossils showing how things evolved from what survived the impact. This was probably the most important event in the last 100 million years, Joanna Morgan, a geophysicist at Imperial College in London and a leader of the expedition and part of the European Consortium for Ocean Researcher Drilling, told NPR. The impact site near the present-day Yucatan Peninsula is not a new discovery, as it has been on record since the 1980s. But what was found in the 125-mile-across crater, Chicxulub, could be a scientific breakthrough. Chicxulub has been studied many times before, but the European Consortium for Ocean Researcher Drilling went after an area that has been overlooked. The Peak Ring, which is a ring of mountains left by the asteroid, holds clues to what actually happened the day the asteroid fell into Earth and paint a picture of a post-impact world. During the weeks of drilling, the team pulled layers of rock out that were linked to a part of our planet's history. We went through a remarkable amount of the post-impact world. All the way into the Eocene times, so between 50 and 55 million years ago, said Sean Gulick, a geophysicist at the University of Texas at Austin, who co-leads the team with Morgan. The first impact of the asteroid caused an explosion so large, it put a nuclear bomb to shame. Heat from the collisions was so intense, it rolled through the forests creating wildfires hundreds of miles away from the crash site, all of which was followed by an unexpected winter. I think it was a bad few months, really, Morgan says. But most experts believe 75% of life on the planet went extinct after doomsday on Earth, including the dinosaurs. The rocks pulled from the Peak Ring tell a story of how life recovered after the catastrophic event. We've got all these limestones and rocks that contain the fossils from the world after the impact, all the things that evolved from the few organisms that survived, said Gulick. And when the team reached the top of the Peak Ring this week, they found a thick layer of broken, melted rock beneath the layer of limestone that could be suggests a massive tsunami formed when the asteroid struck. Gulick says if any microscopic organisms survived near the impact site, the fossils might be in these samples. The team is sending the core of the rock to a lab in Germany for future analysis this June. The asteroid strike marked the end of an era. But the creatures that made it through that catastrophe went on to shape the world again, says Morgan. The mammals survived, she says. And that led on to our own evolution. Peak rings are commonly seen in craters on the Moon, but the Chicxulub is the only one known on Earth where the impact ring, which sits inside the main impact crater, still remains. The Chicxulub asteroid is estimated to have been more than 9 miles across. The initial crater would have formed within a few seconds, creating a hole 60 miles wide and more than 18 miles deep. In the minutes following the impact, this would have then collapsed to form a final crater more than 124 miles wide and 1 mile deep. It was discovered when oil prospectors were searching for possible locations for drilling during the 1960s, although it was not made public until 1981. At about the same time, scientists had discovered a thin layer of iridium appeared to have fallen around the world, a material that can come from asteroids, at the end of the Cretaceous period. It has led to a widespread acceptance an asteroid impact was responsible for killing off the dinosaurs. But exactly how life on the planet recovered, and how quickly, from the disaster has remained mired in mystery. The researchers hope the rock samples they obtained from the impact crater could provide some clues about what followed the impact and what enabled some life to survive. They say that around 2,130 feet to 2,630 feet, 650 to 800 meters, down, they expect to see fewer and fewer shell-producing animals fossilized in the limestone as life was still recovering from the impact. Some scientists believe the impact could have caused the oceans to become acidified by releasing carbon dioxide, so they also plan to look at whether the species that did survive were more tolerant of water with higher acidification. It is also thought the fractured rocks at the bottom of the crater could also have become a hotspot for life shortly after the impact.